everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on a Saturday, our favorite day, real estate. I almost forgot to turn my phone off there. That would have been a little bit of disaster. But I hope you're having an amazing week. And February is off to a strong start. And the real estate market's changing. Does it come with the weather? It sure might. It's beautiful out the last couple of days, 70s. And I think people are thinking about real estate. And so we got a great show for you. As always, it's a busy weekend. Talking about the real estate market, so the numbers had a chance to come in for 2024. If you haven't known that the market was not as strong as we thought, real estate sales in December for 2024, seasonally adjusted annual rate of new single-family homes were 698,000 for the month of December. That's 6.7% higher than the same period in 2023. A total estimated of 683 homes sold were in 2024. Existing home sales in December 2024, seasonally adjusted rate of existing home sales were 4.24 million. That's a 9.3 increase from the previous year and a total of 4.06 million existing homes sold in the whole year of 2024. Across the board, the typical for sale by owner had a sales price of an average of $380,000 and accounted for only 6% of sales in 2024. So, a lot of people asked where the interest rates were going, where the market's going. Where's the real estate market going? Hard to say. But we know last year was always challenging. I think a lot of people that we've chatted with and customers and clients that we're working with across the board had to know that an election year is always, you never know what you're going to get. And I think last year in 2024 was very challenging. You know, we started the first quarter of 2024 not knowing where things were going to go. And it just kind of got off to a start that where a lot of people were watching interest rates, Feds, what's going to go on with the market. A lot of people timed the market. So coming from 2023, like, hey, the rates were up, now we're adjusting, and everybody was trying to get in front of the market and time the market. And not everybody, first quarter worked out well, but the second, third, and fourth were not the same. And so that's kind of where we're at now. Before we get going, let's start with some congrats. I got an amazing show for you. We're talking about 3 reasons to buy a home this spring and why you want to get ahead of the market before the competition does. You still have a couple weeks, a couple opportunities that we're seeing to get ahead of the competition. Second half of Real Estate with Ryan, we're talking about investing in real estate. One of the biggest things is don't want to lose any money in real estate. I want to invest in real estate. But 8 things you need to know to avoid losing money in real estate. We'll talk about that. It's really going to be a great second half. Make sure you tune in with us. And if you're tuning in for the first time, you can catch us on 98.7 News Talk, 98.7 at 1 o'clock. Real Estate with Ryan is airing there. Of course, if not, Talk Radio, 92.3 FM at 11 a.m. Of course, you can follow us on all the social channels, Facebook, Twitter, it's X now, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And of course, all the Spotify's, iTunes, and Google. Glad to catch you in case you missed today's show. You can always watch a rerun there on those platforms for you. All right, got some new congrats. As always, new listings. Been busy, as I said. New listing on 509 Patty Road in Knoxville. 1 day on the market, and we've already got activity and contracts, so that may not be around long. New condo listing on 225 Collier Drive, Unit 1317 in Sevierville. Very popular condo out in Governor's Crossings out there. They rent and go fast. Great management out there, and great opportunity if you're doing a 1031 or from investment opportunity. New listing on 2843 Grassy Branch Loop. Good listing there. And congrats to our great sellers on Green Hill Road in Dandridge, and then 1081 Cove Road in Sevierville. Condo that just went under contract, so congrats. And then another lot over there in Dandridge under contract. All right, let's get back into our show. Why do we want to sell before spring? Kind of talking about the market with where we're coming. So first quarter 24 was amazing. Our staff, we were working record setting in January. And we look at this January and say, or is it the same January? And my staff and my team were talking. I think this January is a little different. We've had, as you can see, just tons of sickness across the board. I know our family, it ran through ours right around Christmas, first of the year. And then we're seeing across the country that a lot of the states that flu is just really running rampant, and it's kind of yucky. And so we're seeing that come into play across East Tennessee. We're also seeing that the weather here for the first start of January was kind of cold, if you want to say cold and icy. And so relatively that affected the first 2 weeks of January. But what we're seeing now, the first couple of weeks, we've put record homes under contract. I was just telling a client we just sold a larger one at 2.4, another one at 1.2, and some other stuff that is just went under contract across the board in different price ranges. But if that's any indication of where the market's going, I think people are moving as the weather changes. And we're going to see that in the spring market, and kind of why we wanted to talk about an opportunity tying into the show is 3 reasons to buy before the spring. Why is that important? It's always good to get in when everybody else is doing it, but the opportunity as sellers, we get a lot of sellers say, well, I want to wait till the spring to put the home on the market. It is an opportunity there. But as buyers, it's a better opportunity to go where there's less competition. So when buying a home on the market, the spring market is the best opportunity where there's a little bit more selection. But right before that means there's less competitions from other buyers, meaning multiple offers, home contingency sales, or a possibility for things like that, especially with sellers having job relocations. May have a seller that really has found a property. We've got one that's got a great seller. They found their perfect forever dream home, but they've got to sell theirs. And so they're super motivated because they've ideally found the right property. You get those scenarios now where maybe that doesn't happen in a couple months. Let's face it, buying a home can feel like a challenge in today's market. With interest rates going all over the board, you may be thinking, should I just wait until spring before the homes hit the market? Maybe they'll be lower. Could be, or they could even be higher. With the opportunity of less competition in the marketplace, it puts buyers that coming out of the winter months to be in a quieter real estate market. Fewer people are actively looking for homes, which means you face less competition when you make an offer. It definitely leads to less stress. So as we got in February, going into March, puts you as an opportunity to get those homes that are under contract and maybe even do a little negotiation. Closing cost, opportunities, contingencies, put you in a great position. The significance of benefit of buying a home in the winter is reduced competition because the perceived benefits of spring may have many buyers delaying. And you will find fewer people competing for the same properties during winter. Less demand can translate into more negotiating power as sellers may be willing to entertain offers or agree to concessions to get a deal closed quickly. More negotiating power with homes staying on the market longer, sellers may be willing to negotiate. And we're seeing that in the East Tennessee housing market. Homes are sitting on the market a little longer. Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, some of those are sitting in the market longer. Buying during these seasons means less competition from buyers, and we got a better opportunity. You can lock in today's interest rates, prices before they rise. Historically, home prices tend to be at their lowest point in the winter months. I thought that was a really key factor that we wanted to bring out in this segment. So before all the push and everybody's in the spring market, these are your best opportunities. We talked a couple times before we got on the show that opportunities in our, let's say, our luxury market between 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, most of those homes were sold in January and February. So many of my clients want to take the properties off the market, and it's like, hey, remember, there's less competition. Everybody wants to be waterfront property in March and April, but we got those executives or we got those people coming in town that are a great opportunity. Let's see here. What else we got? On top of that, home prices generally appreciate over time, meaning they tend to go up year after year. That means you're always ready to buy when you can make an offer. So bottom line, I think coming in the spring housing market, what's going on? We're watching the Feds. We're watching our opportunity. But as we said in these shows, really this year of 2025 is an opportunity where when you're thinking about buying or you're making that move, don't worry about the market or where it's going. But if you happen to fall during these times, during the spring market or before the spring market, you may just have an opportunity to get an amazing deal because there's properties out there that maybe are setting a little bit longer than we've seen. And as what we were mentioning in the article, sellers are now more motivated. They may consider things that we didn't see prior. So what do we expect 2025? I don't know. We'll talk about that. We're coming to the second half of Real Estate with Ryan. We got some amazing topics. Of course, if you had a chance to watch some of the games that we've watched this week, it was just amazing. We'll talk about that in our 60-second Vol update. But, I mean, the Vols are on fire. Amazing game. Ladies beat UConn. We'll talk about that in a second. But 8 things you need to know to avoid losing money in real estate. So in investing, the Smokies, we've got a lot of investors, a lot of people that are getting into real estate this year thinking about investing. We'll talk about that, how to keep some money in your pocket, maybe even make some money as we go into the second half of Real Estate with Ryan. Stay with us.
Knoxville and East Tennessee. The region is known for its rolling hills, rivers, and lakes. There's no better place to work, live, or raise a family. Home is where your story begins. Buying or selling your home is a big decision, and you need a real estate team you can trust.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your hometown experts. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let us develop a winning game plan for you.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you.
All right, we're Real Estate with Ryan back at it, second half edition. And hard to believe this is an amazing weekend. Before we start off the show, obviously I've got a lot of family things going on, and it's a big weekend here in the Coleman house. It's my little man's birthday, my son Isaac. So busy weekend in the Coleman house. Couldn't get the radio show without giving a shout out to my son. He will be 5, little Isaac. He's growing so big. We were watching baby pictures of him as everybody knows that has kids. It's just time's flying, and my little man will be 5. So super happy birthday shout out to my son Isaac. Busy weekend, and hope you have a great birthday, son. I know we love you. So there's my shout out. Told you, a little family show. But we're talking about the real estate market. Before we get going, it's a 60-second Vol update. A lot of news there. All right, drum roll, please. All right, the Vols were in action this week. We got men. Amazing game. Had a chance to go to that game. It was 85-81. We were up 14 points at one point. But, of course, it came back. Missouri was a great team, but ended up winning 85-81. Big win, ranked opponent. Next big game is Vanderbilt. Of course, there's a game this weekend, but next big game at home will be Vanderbilt. So make sure you check out that on our page. And, of course, the Lady Vols, big win against UConn. What an amazing win. Great win, historic win for our program. Coach Caldwell, the Vols just played amazing. So if you had a chance to go there, I know some of our fans or some of our customers or even Vol fans that have went. I can't remember the names, but they'll post. We'll see those pictures out. We were able to send some couples there to the game, so I hope they had an amazing time and share some pictures with us. But that was an amazing game. It was sold out, so for Lady Vol tickets, you couldn't get one, and it was nosebleeds. It was amazing. So we didn't have a chance to go, but it was an amazing atmosphere, and glad to send you guys. Remember, we've got some home games for the men and women. We're going to send you courtesy of Hometown Realty. All you got to do is like, share, and subscribe our page. Watch the posts when they come out. Share it with a friend, and we're going to send you to the remaining games we've got. It's an amazing time there. Vol Nation was at its best the other night. So that is our 60-second Vol update. Hometown Realty, proud sponsor of the Vols. Go Big Orange. So a lot going on today. An amazing opportunity. Getting back into the show. So we're talking about investing in the real estate market. Obviously, if you're investing in real estate, it's an opportunity. Look at the stock markets all over the place. So real estate may be a great investment. Buy an investment property. Maybe buying a property up in the Smokies that's a short-term rental, cabin. Maybe you're buying land. What's the opportunity? 2024, obviously the real estate numbers were about 4 million. So not everybody had the best year. We want 2025 to be strong. So we're going to cover some things that make sure that you don't lose any money in real estate. You're investing in 2025. So 8 things that you need to know to avoid losing money in real estate. So that's right. We don't lose money. We don't make money. We think it goes up every year. Not always the case. Doesn't go up every year. Just had a conversation with a great client. And, as a lot of people invest, we anticipate that the market's going to increase dramatically, and there's some changes. So in our market, some of the properties in the Smokies, one of the biggest things that we're challenging with is competition, right? So competition on some of these properties is now there's new construction. So a lot of the inventory that's in the housing market, now that you're competing, not only are the rentals not where you want to be as an investment property, cash flow's not there, right? You know, some of the numbers that as the economy, inflation has levered across the country, people are taking less vacation. That means rental stays are down. Rental stays are down on a rental producing asset. It's less cash flow. Less cash flow, like in anything, means it's less value. The market has changed. And then you add on top of, in our market, which is a, seasonally investor market, predominantly 80, 90%, and in the Smokies up there, a challenge. Because if that's the investment income and the numbers are not producing what it is, well, what's the next buyer going to do? The opportunity there to look at that, because now the competition, as I was mentioning, was now new construction. So unfortunate with the fires that we had, a lot of inventory has increased. And then now those are newer cabins competing with existing cabins. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the housing market there. And so then now some of the newer ones are fancy, pretty cool stuff. And a lot of them are in the higher ends are having pools. So now you're competing with, mine's got a pool, yours does not. And so a lot of these things you kind of come down to and go, okay, these are things I need to know. But don't worry, there's millions of people that are coming into the Smokies and a lot of opportunities to find these properties, and a lot of buyers that we're working with that have an opportunity that are selling another property in another state, still need to do a 1031 because they don't want to pay the government any more than what they need, right? Because we know they do a great job with it, right? Just kidding. But so we don't want to pay the tax man, so we do a 1031 exchange. And so those opportunities, if we're not on the market, you don't have those opportunities. And knowing that the values in the market across the country has not been where it was supposed to be, a lot of buyers now we're projecting and where we're going to be 25 and 2026. So understanding the market, and if you bought between 2001 and 2007, that was a rough opportunity where homes were priced aggressively due to largely loose lending opportunities. Those back there where the loans were out there, if you stated your name, had a driver's license, you're probably getting a loan. A lot of those mortgage companies are out of business now, but those loans were out there. And then when they went bust, they were back in the market. Banks were putting those at a sale at a discounted rate. And so those were the sales that we were dealing with. So don't want to see that. We're not seeing that since the mortgage regulations have changed. But this truly is unavoidable and impossible to predict with the housing market, obviously. It really is. If you believe the answer is yes, well, this is going to happen again? Answer is really just nobody knows. But I know that the lending regulations, we are not seeing as many short sales and foreclosures as we saw before. To lose money in real estate is not pleasure. I got a guy that's bought a nice renovation property, put a lot of money in it, borrowed some money, and he just needs to get out of it. It's not where we want to be. And sometimes we're having that conversation. When you invest in real estate, not everything is a home run. Not everything's going to be a triple or home run or single. Sometimes we've all lost. I know we've lost sometimes. Not everyone is what you predict. That's why you can't time the market. But we want to encourage these kind of tips to kind of help you that make sure you limit any kind of mistakes that you make and thinking wisely. Negative cash flow is a big sign. If you want to make money in real estate, you should start holding assets for a long period of time. Obviously, loans are paid down over periods of time. Rents tend to increase, and the value eventually goes up. The number one problem preventing investors from winning in the long game is buying properties that lose money every month. So assume that properties obviously may not cash flow now, especially if it's a rental cash flow, but certain things in real estate will affect the housing market and may cause those rentals to increase. Depends on the property manager. Depends on who's servicing it. It could be not cash flowing now because they have the wrong property manager or it's not being marketed right. Let's say it's an investment property, a single family, and maybe it's dated. It hasn't been updated. And maybe it's done by owner, right? And maybe the owner has just not been aggressive. We've kept the leases and had an existing tenant and they want to stay there. They've been good tenants. They pay on time. And so they've kept the rents below market value. Totally reasonable situation. These are things, opportunities, investors to look for, that if there's negative cash flow, there may be reasons there. But don't enter into a deal in 2025 with negative cash flow without doing your homework to make sure that. One of the big things in our area is make sure if you have a 2-year track record, so make sure we're getting rental history. In commercial, they call it trailing 12, and a multifamily, things like that. But get a track record and history of what's performing. But also do your own homework. There's a lot of great sites out there right now where you can compare other properties that are out there and see what the rentals are doing and project and do your own analysis. You must do the homework. Just looking at one across the street or looking at one on Zillow or something like that will not get it done. Watch Following the Herd. And I can see this 2 years ago. I get a lot of calls where everybody was buying a lot of investment properties in the Smokies. Everybody was there. Agents in the area promoting, short-term rentals. This is the greatest thing to, buy. And guess what? And a lot of them did, and now we're selling. So make sure you do your own investment. Short-term rentals are a great opportunity for rental growth, for income, but they take a lot of work. And like anything, you got to do your homework. Understand your rehabbing costs. That's so key. Numbers today are more expensive than we've ever seen. So make sure you know your numbers going into an investment deal and if you need to put money into it. Real estate still location, making sure that you know exactly where you're buying and that you do your homework so you know about the resale values. I said that a man who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. Same thing in real estate. I'm not saying that you can't do it yourself, but you're better with teamwork, opportunities. Reach out to great agents in the real estate market that know your area that can help you navigate sales comparables in the marketplace. Hope you've enjoyed this today. I love being with you. I wish I had more time. You guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you back next weekend.